Back live just a minute or so from joining the beginning of Roger Federer's second-round match against Alejandro Falla of Colombia. Carlos Moya continues to roll over Mikhail Yuzhny, just a game away from the third round. Then a meeting with Davydenko, another Russian who's seated sixth here. I was looking at some of the French players performing well. Brad Bartoli up 5-2 in the first set over Jankovic.
They're doing well, men and women. They got a slew of players.
I was premature in putting Kiefer through to the third round, but Marc Jiquel, the wild card from France, led 5-2 in the third. All of a sudden are back on serve with Kiefer leading 2-0. Time now for Federer and Falla on the Longman Stadium court as we join Dick Enberg and Mary Carrillo.
All right, thank you, Chris. Cool and damp as the hour is about 2 o'clock live here in Paris. Greeting the #1 player in the world, Roger Federer, against the 22-year-old left-hander from Bogota, Colombia, the #1 player in his country, Alejandro Falla. And of course, the anticipation anytime you have your feature performer and a man who's won 3 consecutive Grand Slams and 22 straight Grand Slam matches increases. And on Children's Day, there'll be a lot of young voices. They're Federer fans. They'll be screaming for the 24-year-old Swiss.
Well, the last time that Roger Federer lost in a Grand Slam match was here against Rafael Nadal in the semis. He went on to win Wimbledon for the third time. He went on to win the U.S. Open again, and he went on to win the Australian Open title this year. And there was nothing easy about that, was there? I mean, he was having all kinds of problems, not the least of which was in the fourth round against Tommy Haas. Now, Haas had actually beaten Roger Federer in a tune-up exhibition tournament, so he knew how tough it would be. But Roger won the first 2 sets. Haas came back to win sets 3 and 4. This went the distance, and he really had to scramble to get out of this match with the German Tommy Haas. Won a couple more rounds, of course, and then he played the very likable Marcos Baghdatis in the final. Baghdatis won the first set 7-5, so even there, Roger struggled, but then it was all Raj. And remember how emotional he was. I mean, he really lost it because it was a big struggle for him. It was not easy to do. He had finally gotten to meet his all-time hero, Rod Laver, who presented him with that trophy, winning the Australian Open. Now he's trying very, very hard to win this one for the very first time.
Defeated by Nadal in the semifinals here at Roland Garros a year ago, and a match that Roger, as he left Paris, felt that he just didn't play his kind of game at all, and revved up to try to defeat Nadal, who has knocked him off 3 straight times this year on the hard court of Dubai, and he lost at Monte Carlo, and then that classic match in Rome.
It really was something to see. You know, I mean, Nadal obviously is a remarkably tough player, but Federer certainly had his chances. You know, he had lost to Nadal, as you mentioned, in Monte Carlo's 7-6 in the fourth set. This was a 5-setter, and Roger Federer had 2 match points, 2 forehands that he'd like to hit again. But the recovery from Nadal was absolutely brilliant. The place was going absolutely. This will be a very, very difficult match to equal or surpass in 2006. Like, it had, you know, the 2 very best players playing at top form, and the heart, the spirit, and the resources of Rafael Nadal were something to see. 7-6 in the fifth.
And Nadal with an impressive record against Federer, and look at Federer against the rest of the world. Oh my. And the Parisians have presented him with a room service start to this championship. A qualifier, and the man that the qualifier beat, a lucky loser, are his first 2 opponents. The left-hander. It'll be good workout for Federer. That's the thinking here, to get a left-hander, and of course that with the idea that at the end of this championship he might indeed be meeting the reigning king from Spain, Rafael Nadal, and his southpaw style.
This Colombian, Falla, says that so far in his career, the highlight was playing this man, Roger Federer, on center court at Wimbledon 2 years ago in the second round. He only won a couple of games, but this has got to be equally thrilling, playing on Falla's much better surface clay.
Falla's father is a tennis coach, and of course introduced him to the game. The family now lives in Naples, Florida, moved there 4 or 5 years ago. He's 4-0, the 1 win here at Roland Garros, and 3 Davis Cup wins. He's been a top Davis Cupper down in South America for his country, but his ranking tells it all, 139. And again, for those of you not familiar, in the Grand Slam, the qualifying, you play 3 rounds. You win all 3. You qualify in the given number of spots in the draw. And if you lose, as a lucky loser, you have a chance to get into the tournament should there be an injury. And that is the condition for Alejandro Falla. Federer opens the match on serve. And you can see by the color of the terre battue with the earlier rain, it is heavier. And as Brad Gilbert suggested, should favor Federer, the ball will not bounce as high.
Ponte second.
37 titles at age 24, 7 of them Grand Slams. For the brilliantly talented Swiss, who quickly jumps out to a 40-love lead.
40 second. Federer.
Quite in contrast to his start against Diego Hartfield when he lost his serve to open the match and then lost it again in the next game to drop double breakdown at love 3 before he could rally. Carlos Moya has advanced into the 3rd round with a victory at Chatrier in straight sets over Mikhail Yuzny of Russia. Moya, an ex-champion, and of course from the same island, Mallorca, as Rafael Nadal.
Luis Alejandro Falla.
The voice of Damian Steiner of Argentina in the chair. Federer venturing forward.
15 second.
Handcuffed by the Falla forehand.
That is, boy, did he come out cleanly today, didn't he?
Total contrast to Sunday.
15 up.
Longland, the second show court here at Roland Garros. Capacity 10,000.
15-30.
Oh, Federer just dictating totally.
He's already had 5 winners.
15-40.
Not even 2 games into the match.
2 break points for him to jump out to the 2-love lead.
Federer.
Mr. Falla, lucky to meet Mr. Federer, the man in the blue shirt there across the net.
Federer man.
Pretty good player. .22 consecutive match wins in majors play. Last loss here a year ago in the semifinals to the eventual champion Nadal. Just an impeccable start.
He had to get used to the qualifier Diego Hartfield in that first round. Really had no idea who he was or how to play him. So assured is he today.
Just 11 points into the match, and he has 7 winners. Just overpowering the 22-year-old Colombian. One point for Falla. This is on Longland Court, live in Paris. Round 2 of this 2006 Grand Slam Championship of France. Roger Federer, #1 seed, jumps out to an early lead against Alejandro Falla of Colombia. Longland Stadium, 10,000 fans. And Falla, who scored on only 1 of the first 11 points, gets a couple here as Federer at 2-love serves 40-30.
Federer.
Falla 3 points. Federer 3 games.
Some things men don't want to talk about.
Like prostate problems. But I learned 1 in 3 men will have them. So I switched to One-A-Day Men's.
A complete multivitamin plus lycopene, which Harvard studies suggest may help prostate health.
Some things are healthy to talk about.
One-A-Day Men's.
Last week, over 1 million people enjoyed a great-tasting prime rib dinner as a sandwich. How? The new prime rib sub, only at Quiznos. This week, it's your turn to try. Quiznos. Toasty.
No one to play with. Play online at partypoker.net, the world's largest poker school. More players, more tables, more winners. Sign up now to partypoker.net, the best place to learn how to win.
All right, okay.
So, Mater, now that you're a big star, you're gonna need an agent.
Yeah, McQueen, to get me into all them big parties and find me a shack in the hills and... Hey, I can't see!
Actually, you need a different kind of agent. Maybe a good neighbor.
Call a State Farm agent and get the good neighbor service you can count on anytime, anywhere. And check out Cars, the new Disney Pixar film, only in theaters.
I feel better already.
That's a great shot through one of the statues of the 4 Musketeers out on the plaza. On ricochet, the empty racket. As a player and a great player, he had plenty of string action. Here, Alejandro Falla has opened at love 3 with a double fault.
No, Falla shouldn't have played that out ball. He just had a look over there, knowing that this one he played was wide. He thought it was a safe shot. I think he forgot who he was playing for a moment.
Just too easy for Federer, who moves quickly and gracefully into the shot.
Wow.
Almost some anger in those Federer forehands. And he was, for Federer, for him to say to the press, if I'd have lost that opener on Sunday, I was going to leave here angry, and meant it. It was one of the few times that Roger shows that side of his personality. He was not happy about playing on Sunday.
Well, what do you think about that? How do you like a 15-day tournament, 3 Sundays?
I have mixed emotions in some ways. As you think about promoting the sport, it gives you another weekend. Television, especially throughout Europe. Of course, the finances are a key factor. And the players have already expressed, we're going to play 15th day, then what's in it for us? And of course, it meant that we all had to be in Paris another day.
So once again, you're taking the high road.
I think it's going to happen no matter what we feel. I can see it being part of the U.S. Open.
Oh, yeah.
Quickly.
Oh, yeah. I just disagree with so many people in the sport who thinks bigger is always better, longer is always better. 2-hour pregame shows. There are night games for World Series. Oh.
Don't forget the twilight doubleheader.
I disagree with so much of that kind of thinking. TV timeouts that allow the last 2 minutes of basketball games to go a half an hour.
Federer, another break of the Falla service for a 4-love double break lead in the opening set. How about ballet? Are you any problems there with that running too long?
I just think there's. I know I sound like Andy Rooney. You know what have you ever noticed? Gimmicks, graphics overload, talking heads barking at each other.
Oh, you stayed up late last night. But it is
what?
Rooney
It's
material.
economics. Is that
No,
what?
well, no, it is economics. I accept that. Mirka, the girlfriend of Roger and advisor, manager, her role as a partner in his life is understated, but so important in his success. And the other member of his entourage, Tony Roche, who won this championship in 1965 and 66, the left-handed Aussie, and was a finalist in 67, lost to Roy Emerson.
It used to be, remember, in 2004, Roger Federer played the entire year without a coach or an agent. His girlfriend Mirka and his family pretty much handled him, and he had let go of Peter Lundgren, who's now with Marat Safin. But this year and last year, he has a part-time coach in Tony Roche. He's also got a management agency now. In fact, Roger's agent is married to Mary Jo Fernandez. Tony Godson. So he's not quite, the little cottage industry with Mirka that he used to be.
Wonder if he'd like to adopt an old uncle. San Diego uncle. I've got a recommendation for him.
Look at this magnificent footwork from Federer.
It is eye-popping, isn't it?
It really is.
I mean, you want to talk about the top player in the world bringing out his A game? You're watching it, folks.
Federer, man. 5-0.
Your work clothes, your play clothes. They're the same clothes. Tide with bleach. No other leading detergent can get your whites any whiter. So looking great is child's play. Tide knows fabrics best.
We want a cell phone.
I don't care about the bill. I just want a cell phone.
I want to text my friends.
Daddy, I want to hear the voices. Don't be afraid, Harry. It's just a cell phone.
I won't go over my minutes. I promise. Afraid to get your kid a cell phone? Get GoPhone from Singular. Pay as you go with cash or pick your plan with debit or credit. GoPhone comes with everything but a scary bill.
Thanks for my GoPhone. Now can we talk about the convertible?
Only from Singular, raising the bar.
What if great ideas weren't cherished? What if they carried no importance? Or held no value? There is a place where artistic vision is protected, where inspired design ideas live on to become ultimate driving machines.
Welcome back live. Roland Garros. Roger Federer, the favorite, along with Rafael Nadal to win this title, as Federer needs the French to complete his career Grand Slam, the Roger Slam, in fact, because he's won the last 3. And Alejandro Falla totally overwhelmed so far. Love 5, and there's a point for Falla, only his 4th on his serve in this opening set. As Federer in 16 minutes is 3 points from the set.
Just say it, Dick. I know you want. Just say it. Just say it. Federer's on fire. Just say it and get it out of your system.
See now, as soon as you see me write a note, you go right after it. I'd hate to be sitting next to you in a classroom. You know, I'd peek in my paper. That Federer's on fire, fans. 64-4 in the last 11 slams. Is that any good?
He's so tough at Wimbledon. He's won the last 3, and he's playing this like it's on grass. So much aggression, so much assurance.
That's the first miss hit, though, Mary, huh? But everything else has been solid in the center of the racket. A little wind gust at the moment.
A lot of wind. There's some blue skies not far from Court Cezanne-Longland, but the wind is suggesting that there's more rain around as well.
Federer, that ball wasn't where he expected it to be, as the wind caught that as well. And Falla, a chance to win a game here in the opening set.
Oh. 14th winner in 5 games.
Such a pure set being played by Federer. Nope. Another game point for Falla. He's overcome a very serious knee injury a couple years ago. Knocked him out of play for 10 months. And Falla able to hold. And French fans, youngsters especially, give him a hand.
Colombian fans as well. Falla ranked 300 in the world.
And now Federer to complete business, one would suppose, here in the opening set. Challenged on his service games a bit. Held at love. Came back and allowed a couple of points, and then won in his 3rd service game. 3 points in 3 service games for the world's #1 player. Second ace for Federer. Shot spot presented by Cannon on the mark. And now 3 set points. Beautiful to watch. Roger Federer, 6-1, owns the opening set, second round here of the 2006 French Open Championship. And the man from Switzerland wants so desperately. In fact, it's the first time I've really sensed that he's under a little pressure from himself. He wants to win the French. He's after the Roger Slam.
Heat, Pistons, the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN. Detroit is on the brink of elimination as Miami seized a commanding 3-1 lead behind another huge game from Dwayne Wade. Oh, Wade puts it in! Now the series heads back to Detroit, where the Pistons will have to come through with their backs against the wall, while the Heat have their sights set on a first-ever trip to the NBA Finals. The Eastern Conference Finals, Game 5, tonight 7:30 Eastern on ESPN.
I'm Cap. The once-in-a-lifetime launch spectacular, featuring the all-new Camry and Yaris. We're making room for the new models, so great deals are going on now. Get $500 cash back on the extremely fuel-efficient 2006 Toyota Corolla CE. Or lease the newly redesigned 2007 Camry LE for $269 a month for 48 months with $2268 due at signing. Hurry, it all ends soon. It's time to move forward.
You don't just visit Memphis. You surrender to the music, the people, and the legends that changed the world. And when Memphis has a hold on you, you never wanted to let go. An unforgettable vacation is closer than you think. Visit MemphisTravel.com.
Beautiful promenade, the Chatrier court on your right, the ivy-covered walls, and then down the long promenade to Suzanne Longland. But we will watch Roger Federer quickly closing in on the opening set, 6-1 in 22 minutes, named after the great French player of the post-World War I era, Suzanne Longland, who brought a flair and panache
we have a runner, Bruce?
To the game. Falla won the first point, opening this second set, and takes a 30-love lead.
One against.
We first arrived here the year Yannick Noah won the title, 83. The Bull Ring, 4,000 plus, was the second show court, and this has been constructed in the last 6-7 years. And beautiful compliment to Chatrier. They tried to design it much like the main show court. Oh, is he ripping some backhands today? Meanwhile, Maria Sharapova, the number 4 seed, playing on a bad ankle. And they're underway against Benesova at Chatrier. And we'll be going back and forth following both these popular players, Federer and Sharapova. Misses with that backhand. Chance to open the second set by holding here for Falla. Mentioned that he had knee surgery a couple years ago, and in that 10-month period he stayed on court and practiced from a chair. Did Falla. He just was not going to give up his dream.
Some of you may remember the famous picture of Thomas Muster practicing from a wheelchair. He was to play what was then called the Lipton in Key Biscayne. The night before the final, a car ran into him as he was coming out of a restaurant, so he had to anyway, he had already won the Italian Open. He showed up in Rome in a cast and said, "I'll be back next year to win this again," and that's exactly what he did. He showed up
just amazing.
I was Thomas Muster. He was a beast. He was absolutely beast, Mr. Moo. But Falla trained in the same way Muster did, from a wheelchair.
You mentioned Muster, and you wonder how great he might have been had it not been for that accident. He did rally, come back, and win some key matches, but he had to take something away from him.
He lost a year. He was a lefty like this guy, Falla, but he was pretty limited to clay courts.
And a miss hit from Federer's end, and Falla opens with the hold here in the second set.
But Muster was very much like he was like Ivan Lendl in how hard he was willing to work, and he was always trying to work on his fitness level, his doggedness. There was never any denying that. He used to do sometimes he would do push-ups on changeovers just to show his opponent how tough he was, how fit he was. And he played some of the senior circuit these days as well.
Big Austrian, broad-shouldered. He almost dared you to stay out with him 4 or 5 hours. That was right down Main Street for him.
Ante 0.
Muster was the winner here in '95, and you're a pretty good fan of French Open tennis if you can remember the runner-up to Muster that year, an American. At a 40-15 as Muster in straight sets defeated Michael Chang for his French Open title in '95.
Federer.
1-1 here in the second set. Federer took the opener in 21 minutes, 6-1. And we remind you, one of the most prestigious tournaments on the PGA Tour, the Memorial, tees off Thursday afternoon on ESPN Live from the Muirfield Village Golf Club. Some of the game's greatest will be there. Masters champion Phil Mickelson, Vijay Singh, Retief Goosen, and more, all battling for the coveted trophy. The Memorial Tournament presented by Morgan Stanley on ESPN Thursday, 3 Eastern, and Friday at 2:30 Eastern. Coverage each day begins with SportsCenter at the Memorial Tournament presented by Morgan Stanley. And for more information, log on to ESPN.com.
Well, Falla is going to have to reach out of his own comfort zone to try to get anything going against the world's #1. Looks as though he's decided he's got to play a little bigger than he really owns. It's a high-risk game, but what he's got, if he just continues on, is not going to be enough to hurt Roger, and he knows it.
Cancer.
He just hasn't put Federer in any defensive position from his serve. His serve just sits right there to let Federer start the point.
He tries it by his delivery, that lefty delivery. It looks like a small echo of the John McEnroe wind-up. Tries to get sidelong to the court, but he doesn't get his back and shoulders in it the way that John used to.
Nope.
40 seconds.
It's almost as if Federer, knowing that he's well in command, tries some different tactics. Let's see if the drop shot will work, and he's a little shy on it.
It's nice.
Falla.
Good game for Alejandro Falla. They're on serve in the second.
That is prime rib, the creme de la creme of steaks. You can only get mouth-watering taste like this from prime rib, and you can only get the prime rib sub from Quiznos. Toasty.
There's no one exactly like you. No one has the same financial goals or cares about the same people. That's why Raymond James Financial Advisors have the independence to offer unbiased advice that's right for you. And it's why we pioneered the idea of financial planning. You might say we're just as unique as you are. Raymond James, individual solutions from independent advisors.
Wherever Power Shot goes, great pictures follow.
Make every shot a power shot.
The greetings are different. The need to feel welcome is the same. You don't just stay here. You belong.
Welcome back. Suzanne Longland Stadium here at Roland Garros. Second round action. Dick Enberg with Mary Carrillo. Pleased you've joined us for our live coverage of the French Open. Roger Federer, the #1 seed, winning the first set 6-1, serving at 1-2 and 15 love in the second set. And as you pointed out, Mary, Falla trying to hit with a little more velocity here after being crushed in that opening set. Producing some better play is the 22-year-old Colombian.
40 seconds.
The problem for Falla, for anyone who plays Federer, is that not only does he strike the ball so hard and so early, but he moves so well that you just have no time to organize your own game.
And a big serve, love game, 2-all. You know, Federer presented with an ideal start, although he did not know Diego Hartfield, and that bothered him, and he had trouble. Started poorly, but held on to win in straight sets on Sunday, and then wins. As you look at other scores, gets to play a lucky loser in the man he faces today, Alejandro Falla. So a qualifier lucky loser start on the schedule for the #1 player. It'll be tougher next round. Winner of this match meets either the 32nd seed Nicholas Massou or Max Mirny.
Well, that's a tough second round, isn't it, for both guys?
Yeah. Good match.
Falla, by the way, beat American Justin Gimelstob in the opening round here.
And he logs his second ace. Doing a much better job of protecting his serve in the second set to 40 love. And another solid game for Falla. On serve 3-2, second set.
Hey.
Hey.
Maybe you can give me a call sometime?
Yeah, I would love that.
Show me the downward facing dog.
I'm sorry, what?
You know, 'cause, well, you guys know how to do yoga.
You guys. Look, not all Jetta owners know yoga. And you got the foot in the mouth position, right?
Stereotyping is stupid. Sure, Volkswagen owners are 115% more likely to enjoy yoga, but don't assume they all do. Lose your ignorance at thejettareport.com.
Think you know all there is to know about getting your cholesterol right? You may be wrong, because getting bad cholesterol down might be just part of the equation. You may also want to get your good cholesterol up. Even more surprising, this cholesterol medicine does both. Crestor. Crestor, along with diet, can lower bad cholesterol by up to 52%. But Crestor also raises your good cholesterol. Down with the bad, up with the good. Is Crestor right for you? That's between you and your doctor. Crestor is not for everyone, including people with liver disease and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor about other medications you're taking, or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as they may be a sign of serious side effects. Down with the bad, up with the good. Talk to your doctor about Crestor.
If you're without prescription coverage and can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Back live in Paris, and you see those are the broadcast booths. We're up in our own little spaceship. And it isn't exactly a solid foundation. Every time someone walks down the hall, the booth shakes. She's a little nervous. But we're looking directly down on the action, and as we look down, we're seeing rain falling on the fans who go to the parapluie.
I think that's just why Roger's trying to speed things up so much in this match, knowing that there's rain in the forecast. Just seems to me like he's trying to get on with this as quickly as possible. 3 and out. And now they have suspended play on Court Suzanne Langlon.
Damian Steiner making that announcement. And hopefully, according to the forecast, this isn't going to be that kind of day where we'll have a shower and 15-20 minutes later, after the courts are covered, back out they'll come. That was the case earlier this morning. Yes, blue sky all around, but the heavy cloud covers Roland Garros. The players leave the court with Federer up a set 6-1 and serving 2-3, 30 love. We'll be right back. And welcome back live, the west of Paris, near the Bois de Boulogne, the grounds of Roland Garros. French Open 2006 second round, and Roger Federer, Alejandro Falla, completing their warm-up after approximately an hour and 15 minute delay because of the rain showers. And we'll continue with Federer winning the opening set 6-1 and serving at 2-3, 30 love in the second set. And many of you out there are golfers as well, and you play scrambles. Well, you've just seen the television version of a two-man scramble. Well done by Chris and Brad, as trying to bring you as much tennis as we can, even in those times where there's no activity because of foul weather. And it has been just amazingly cold and cool for this time of the year. Year after year, the standard was the first week you would get colder weather, rainy weather, and then summer would arrive suddenly and it'd be very hot the second week. This year happens to be a week later because of the calendar scheduling than normal. So it figured we'd come here and summer would greet us, but not the case at all. Some of the coldest weather in a long time. And even watching the warm-up, Mary, how quickly the balls picked up the chair bat too, as the court is heavy. It'll play slower. The balls will pick up the red dust.
Look at the difference in his two arms. Isn't that amazing? Look at the difference in Federer's two arms.
Rod Laver-ish. Good play by Falla. 30-15.
22-year-old from Cali, Colombia, but for the last 5 years, Falla has been living in Naples, Florida, where I live, and I'll tell you, it's been in the 90s there for months. Only his second ever appearance at Roland Garros. The only other time he played Federer was on center court Wimbledon 2 years ago, and he won a couple of games. He said, to date, that's his greatest thrill. He's doing better against him on red clay.
He lost 6-1, 6-2, 6-love at the All England Club, but he's won 4 games today and serves at 3-all in the second. Had it lined up, didn't he? Federer really moving into the prime of his tennis career at age 24.
Frontal.
30-all. (15-7) is not Federer's Roland Garros record. It is indeed. It's his 8th appearance here, and as he indicated earlier in the interview portion, that he started in Paris losing the first round, and then maybe the second first round, and then only in the last couple of years has moved deep into the tournament, of course, to the semifinals a year ago before losing to Rafael Nadal.
Federer.
And Federer The marionette moves his opponent, and then with the opening, a quick winner.
That is ESPN. This is mobile ESPN. This isn't just like sports on your current phone, okay? This is a new phone service from ESPN. Just one touch of the E button, man, you get features like the sideline and the fastest alerts and video highlights and ESPN show clips. It's like instant painless access into ESPN.
Switch to mobile ESPN today. Visit mobileespn.com to find a retailer near you.
Attention homeowners with adjustable rate mortgages. Interest rates are on the rise. So now is a great time to refinance to a flat fee home loan with a low fixed rate from ditech.com. The total lender fee is just $395 with no points, saving thousands of dollars in closing costs. With the ditech home loan, there are no broker commissions. Don't wait for your mortgage payment to go up again. Log on to ditech.com or call 1-800-71-FIX.
Discover the amazing training secrets of America's finest baseball school in an exciting instructional video. Baseball World's Defensive Drills video features professional scout and instructor Tommy Mansky and the same techniques that produced his back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. Collegiate Baseball Magazine's editor calls it a masterpiece, the best drill video ever produced. This video is endorsed by top professionals like superstar Fred McGriff.
This is the instructional video that gets results.
The Defensive Drills video benefits players of all ages and ability levels and makes a great gift too, so call now.
So Roger Federer, as if to collect his strategies during that rain delay, comes out, holds quickly, and then breaks Falla to take the lead in the second set. And here serving 4-3, love 15.
Falla's trying to go to his backhand, but he's hit plenty of winners from there today.
So an opening for Falla, love 30.
He hasn't even had a look at a break point yet against Federer. Federer is playing at such a quick pace that not only during the points, but in between them. He wants to get out of here while the skies are still blue. Here's 3 break points.
0-40.
But Falla with a chance for an immediate break back. Three points for him for 4-all. See what Federer can dig out here. Missing on his first serves. This is a rare opportunity for Alejandro Falla. 3 break points, 1 gone. Two erased.
You can hear that it's Kids' Day, can't you? Hear a little chants and the
Long Lung with 10,000 capacity, and it's completely full now. He just is such an exquisite mover.
on the defense there, and look at this. That's not a bad drop shot, but Federer turns it into offense anyway. So love 40 gone. It's just massive ground strokes, massive footwork, if that's possible.
Avantage Federer.
Magical and massive, huh? Just
it is.
He's a dancer. 24 winners to 6 Federer. Paul was tosses the ball to the other end as if to say, are you kidding? And chair umpire Damian Steiner says 5-3 Federer.
Don't you get the sense Roger's in a hurry?
Yeah.
It's just like, let's go. And he was right. He did catch a piece of the center.
Right at 4 o'clock Paris time, live for you. And plenty of tennis ahead, including the world's #1 Amelie Mauresmo and now Bandian Gasquet, the young Frenchman. That'll be interesting. Venus Williams against the Finnish Emma Laine, and Sharapova and Benesova will be doing the Bossa Nova. And that match you'll see at the completion of this one.
Part of Kids Day?
Wednesday, first Wednesday of the championship. The school kids treated to tennis, and they're part of the more than 30,000 on the grounds today.
Even on a day when he's all business, there's still so much art.
We understand now that the Sharapova-Benesova match will not follow immediately after this, but will be part of our 10 hours of coverage later in the day. Falla with his third ace.
On this court next is Amelie Mauresmo against the Russian Vera Dushevina. So you got to assume that these packed stands will stay packed, even when Roger Federer leaves them.
So to 40-30 for Falla, as Federer was just a couple of points from the set and a 2-set lead. He's done that a couple of times, that low, soft slice right at the ankles of the approaching opponent. 4 o'clock in Paris, live. Our coverage continues on a rainy, cold Parisian day. Temperature in the 50s, seems even colder with the dampness. Rain delay, a couple today. Hasn't dampened the spirits of the young kids on Children's Day at Roland Garros.
Avantage Falla.
Just joining us, Carlos Moya has won today. He has advanced. So has the number 6 seed Nicholas Davydenko. Look at that sky with the Eiffel Tower off in the distance, about 5 miles as the crow flies. Falla holds. Federer serves for a 2-set lead when we come back.
We gave it an adjustable air suspension that lowers at high speeds to improve aerodynamic performance. The new 7-passenger GL. It's more Mercedes to love.
So, Mater, now that you're a big star, you're gonna need an agent.
Yeah, McQueen, to get me into all them big parties and find me a shack in the hills and... Hey, I can't see!
Actually, you need a different kind of agent. Maybe a good neighbor.
Call a State Farm agent and get the good neighbor service you can count on anytime, anywhere. And check out Cars, the new Disney Pixar film, only in theaters.
I feel better already.
The new 7-passenger GL.
They shot the yellow doggy.
We gave it an available dual-screen DVD system for road trips and lunch breaks. It's more Mercedes to love.
Yeah. Already emulating their heroes, the young kids here with their friends and parents, young and younger. And Roger Federer at 24. He'll never get old to watch it, at least. Serves for 2-set lead here on the soaking red clay of Suzanne Langland Court. And Amelie Mauresmo due up next here. And you can see how quickly the fans have flooded to this arena and ready not only for the finale of this match, but to cheer Mauresmo, the Australian Open champion and now the world's #1 player. Once again, Federer 2 points from the 2-set lead.
Like this. Zero.
40-0. 40 love, 3 set points. And so it is. Federer in front, 6-1, 6-4.
6-4. Federer, man.
The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary things.
Armor All Wax, wipes, and tire shines. Go ahead, stare.
Jeff, it's 3 in the morning, man. What's going on?
I just don't think that I can take another second at that house. Can I stay here tonight?
Yeah, no.
Need healthier air? Remove and kill more airborne allergens and germs with the Carrier Infinity System, the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system.
Could you get me on by 7? I got a thing tomorrow.
Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Hey, excuse me. Would you mind jumping on the back? I want to see how it feels. Thanks.
Hon, I'm sorry I'm late. I was just getting my glasses.
This is just plain wrong.
What?
The Outlander Max easily converts from 1 to 2 passenger mode. Now with up to 6 times the warranty of the competition. A full 3 years.
Yeah, it's more comfortable.
Some of the merchandise here at Roland Garros doesn't cost a thing to look. Moving rapidly as is the case at all 4 majors. A souvenir on the tennis Grand Slam arena. And immediately to open this 3rd set, Falla, under darkened skies, sees his chances growing dimmer as well. Love 30. Batting practice for Federer and 3 break points to open the 3rd set.
0-40.
It's just not easy to hit cold winners on clay. It really, it's not nearly as easy as he's making it look. He's had almost 30 now in just 2 sets.
Well, he's won 7 Grand Slam titles, halfway to Pete Sampras's all-time mark. But as he continues to attack the record book and under the watchful eye of Tony Roach and girlfriend manager Mirka, he's doing things that in the history of this sport just aren't done. And when they are, it's only 1 or 2 of the all-time Hall of Fame greats that have accomplished it. Seizes the opportunity and the immediate break to open the third. So up 2 sets and a break. Roger Federer. You can go all the way back through the 20th century and into the 1800s to the challenge rounds, and no one but Roger Federer competed in 7 consecutive Grand Slam finals and won 7 consecutive titles.
Roger keeps looking up to the skies, hoping he can really get out of here quickly now. Nick, big difference between Roger having not yet won the French Open and Pete Sampras never winning it. Said he was born and raised on clay. I mean, he knows what he's doing on this stuff. That's why it seems inevitable to me he'll win at least one of these things before he goes away. And he's looking hard to do it in these 2 weeks. He thought he had a pretty good look at winning Roland Garros in 2005, but he really did not perform well in the semis against Rafael Nadal. He walked off that court, you could tell he was very displeased, unhappy with the way he played that 4-setter.
How about that little serve and volley he throws in as he hurries along to 40 love?
Yeah, he's trying to get gone.
And then near ace.
His whole approach to the clay court season is so much different this year. Even as he was winning the first leg of the Grand Slam, the Australian Open, he was talking about the French Open.
There's the 7, and of course the last 3 consecutively. So he tries to go for the Roger Slam, all 4 majors at a given time. Done only twice, actually 3 times. Rod Laver twice, and Don Budge once. Only 2 other men. And he always has presented himself as a player that loves his sport and loves the history of it and wants his place in it, and that tells you so much about an athlete. And now he is becoming a delicious part of this sport.
And the rain is coming again. What a shot. That's just, oh, come on. That was good, too.
Oh, give the kid from Colombia a break.
That's good coaching. That's just really, Tony Rochi's got to be proud of.
How does he drop that one on the line?
This is the one. This is the crazy one. But you look at even all of that control, even with that shot. And then he went all the way back the other way to strike the winner.
That shot was like deterring a snake, you know. (15:30) down love 2 here in the 3rd set, and this is not only annoying to these 2 players, and Federer wants to get his job accomplished on this day, so he has an off day tomorrow. But how about those that wait yet to play, and many, including Venus Williams, in that position. On the changeover, the youngsters who have migrated here to Suzanne Longland. Not too many seats available, but they'll find a place. Good rally by Alejandro Falla out of 15-30 to save his game. It's 2-1 in the third.
The greetings are different. The need to feel welcome is the same. You don't just stay here. You belong.
Ortho Weed Be Gone Max. Sprayed here. Ordinary weed killer here. Weed Be Gone's weed targeting formula killed the weeds, but not the grass. The ordinary weed killer killed both. Ortho Weed Be Gone Max kills weeds, not lawns.
Is it possible to engineer desire? An entirely new ES, the Lexus ES 350.
You see a long business trip. At Franklin Templeton, we saw regional air travel rising and invested in a commuter jet manufacturer ready to take off. A smart move for our fund shareholders. Perspective like this has made Templeton a pioneer in global investing. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective. Ask your advisor for a prospectus with investment goals, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
Under continuing cold showers here in Paris, we're live. Roger Federer, world's #1 and seeded #1, with a 2-set lead and a break at 2-1 and 15 love. It's raining much harder. They're doing everything they can, hoping that it can be completed this match, and that's certainly the wish of Federer and probably Falla as well. But it can't rain too much harder than this, so they'll have to bring out the covers for the third time.
I think Roger's done. This is Wimbledon weather.
Yeah, this gets to a point where possible injury is present, with conditions getting stickier and stickier, and you can see the water starting to accumulate on the court itself. So another delay, the third of the match, with Federer leading 6-1, 6-4, and up a break in the third. We'll come back while coverage is live from Paris.
Okay, we'll pull out of the tape coverage of Roddick's loss yesterday to come back live. You can see clearing skies above Chartrier, and even over at Longland, here's Roger Federer. Brad, he's obviously just paralyzed by tension. Somebody's got to do something to calm Roger down here as he tries to battle the nerves in this rain delay, huh?
The guy's got some talent. I mean,
he's just so loose in there. Federer obviously in command of this match with Alejandro Falla of Colombia, 6-1, 6-4, and 2-1. He has the early break in the third set. You know, Fed probably has plans for later today, but he's not exactly wound up about having to wait out the raindrops, and we are set to play. We'll go back over to the Longland commentary booth, Dick Enberg and Mary Carrillo.
All right, thank you, Chris. Roger Federer, when the third rain delay hit, serving at 2-1, 30-15. And since the delay was only about 15 minutes, the ruling is up to 15 minutes, no warm-up, 15 to 33 minutes, and after 30-minute delay, a full warm-up. I think Federer, regardless, wants to get back to work. After a couple of practice serves, he fires in a tough ball up the middle in 40-15. Well done.
40-30.
Yeah, part of the day is to get that picture of Federer and say, yeah, I was there. I saw the world's best. Tell your pals tomorrow. You almost expected him to go back to the baseline and retrieve it, didn't you?
It's amazing because we've been watching that tape of Broddick, Dick, and you know, you get used to watching him struggle on clay, and you figure, God, he can miss any shot he winds up for. With Federer, I don't know. I watch him and I figure he can hit any shot he winds up for. You're a little surprised to see him lose points like that.
Fourth ace. And a game point for 3-1. Now you're shocked when he doesn't make a good play or almost the perfect shot or the amazing get. That one sails wide. Second deuce. This becomes the first two-deuce game of the entire match. Chilly day in Paris. Overpowers Falla. In fact, Mary, this kind of day, if you didn't have a calendar handy, you'd say, man, early November. Yeah. Leaves will be turning soon.
Federer.
3-1. The lead here in the third for Federer.
Federer man,
and still ahead, rain and weather permitting. Amelie Mauresmo, Vera Grishevina, Nalbandian, Gasquet, Venus Williams, Emelina, and Sharapova, Benesova. So a lot of great tennis here in our live coverage. And because of the rain and scheduling, obviously that Sharapova match you'll see later will be on tape. Yeah, they're bundled up today.
In France, kids have half days on Wednesdays, which sounds like a pretty good school scam. Except that they have half days on Saturdays too. That's kind of a bummer. That's why this is always a good kids' day.
You can see how the ball picking up, see them look for one that's as clean as possible. It'll fly a little faster. There's a rare awkward volley from Federer.
Well, the clay is uneven on this court too. After he missed that shot, he kicked the clay out from the bottom of his shoes. In fact, after that rain delay, they put some more clay. You can see on the marks towards the back where Federer is. They had to lay down some extra clay and spread it out a little bit. And a little cakey out there. And thick where he is right now. Oh, that's what a shot from that far away.
Off the line and
oh yes.
Falla with a winning reply. But he trails by 2 sets and down a break in the third to Federer, 3-2.
Introducing the best dynamic performance SUV in its class, the FX, from a company called Infinity.
My normal day is sort of getting up in the morning, spending a little bit of time with the kids, get to the office, turn on the computer, probably spend 2 or 3 hours playing on PokerStars.net. One of the most amazing things about being able to play on PokerStars is that I can log in from Australia and play against people from all around the world. It's a great game that people of all different walks of life can play together. At the end of the day, poker's all up here. And a great way to get this sharp is to play it at PokerStars.net. You know what? It's fun, it's free, and it's a great place to learn. So log on and see how you go.
State Farm celebrates Disney and Pixar's Cars with the Countdown to Cars giveaway. Enter today at statefarm.com and you could win one of 25 Ford Mustangs. To increase your chances to win, enter every day.
For my sport, the only sunscreen is Coppertone Sport.
It's non-greasy, so I won't lose my grip.
And it doesn't run in my eyes, no matter how hard I sweat.
Coppertone Sport, high-performance sunscreens.
Play underway. Federer serving a 3-2, earns the opening point. And you see players, you see how that ball is marked. Players throughout all the telecasts going through the balls and selecting one like they were in the fruit market, trying to get the ripest, best piece of fruit. Well, in this case, it really is obvious for them because some of the balls are clean and some very heavily caked. Six points away from the third round is Federer.
Already in the third round are Carlos Moya. Straight sets over the Russian Yuzhny. And Tomas Berdych, the Czech. He's on through as well.
Keep waiting for him to really come up with something big in a major. He, at times, looks as if he could be a star.
Nikolai Davydenko, a semifinalist here, losing in 5 to Puerta last year. He's up. When is Ljubicic going to have his Grand Slam?
Is this the surface where it's going to happen?
It'd be tough for him. It would be tough for Ivan Ljubicic to win his first major here.
The U.S. Open might be the place. Federer moves to a 4-2 lead.
Federer mène 4-6-2.
Just remember a couple of years ago in the third round against Gustavo Kirten, the 3-time winner, how hapless Federer looked out there. You know, he couldn't hit, he couldn't move well. He had no traction on the clay, and he just couldn't line up for his shots the way he's been doing here at will. And what a pity that Gustavo Kirten's career is about over. Had to pull out of this one. He's had a couple of hip operations. And was there a more likable French Open champion in recent years than until Nadal came along?
No, his popularity index was right there at the top of the meter for all fans.
Look at this. Look at this footwork.
Get out of here.
See, he's getting downright punitive now. He's aggravated, not at this really lovely seeming Colombian guy, just at the weather and the conditions and the fact that he had to play on Sunday. And he's just taking it out on Alejandro Falla.
Now this young man who rated playing Federer at Wimbledon his biggest tennis thrill will be able to double up with that comment after getting a chance in another major to meet the world's #1. Can brag about a few more games. He's won 7 games in the match today, only 3 at Wimbledon.
Falla's trying so hard. It's a pleasure to watch his effort today against the world's best, who's treating this red clay court like it's grass. And Falla's even leaving some of his own skin out there, trying to hang tough with this guy.
Good Federer. He was there so quickly, able to punch the winner. And the scars of his surgery of a couple years ago that cost him almost an entire year. And the hold, it's 4-3. Federer closing in on the 3rd round.
The moment you met, you knew you wanted to spend the rest of your life with her. So you bought her a diamond and said, I do. And with each passing day, your love for her grew. It's your anniversary again. Isn't it time you bought her another diamond? Come to Gold Rush Jewelers and celebrate your past, present, and future. Buy her that diamond she's been dreaming of and say, I forever do. Diamonds from Gold Rush Jewelers. Make this moment the memory of a lifetime.
The 6th annual Sean W. Walker Charity Golf Tournament is Saturday, June 10th at the Coleman Municipal Golf Course. This 4-man scramble begins at 1 p.m. Entry fees are just $80 per person. Along with an exciting day of golf, cash and prizes will be awarded. Proceeds will benefit the Child Advocacy Center of Coleman. For more information, call Donna Dutton or Susan Martin at Brooks Place. Join us for the 6th annual Sean W. Walker Charity Golf Tournament.
Welcome back to the Suzanne Longland stage and the continuing artistry of one Roger Federer, leading by 2 sets and 4-3.
15-0.
Amelie Mauresmo will be on this court following the Federer-Falla match. And of course, that's in part why this is the 10,000 seats at Longland as a hold at love for Federer, and it's now 3-5 in the 3rd. Tennis answer to a baseball strawberry on the knee of Falla.
Bruised and bloodied. Making the red clay just a little bit redder today, trying to fight off Roger Federer, who has played the match serving at almost 70%. More winners than errors. Give Falla that one though. He's had this is his 11th winner in 3 sets, Falla, against Federer's 39.
Well, unlike the match on Sunday where he started very slowly against the qualifier Diego Hartfield, in fact was down double break at love 3. Federer came out charging hot and hard and played as well as even the greatest can play. He just was perfect. And since that easy 6-1 first set, just methodically moving through his opponent. Just in case you get a little bored, he throws in some of those lightning bolts of brilliance. But it'll be a different challenge in the third round, as either Max Mirny or Nicolas Massou will be his opponent. Good serve from Falla to 30-all.
Contact.
Yeah, it's about as comfortable as an old coach can feel. 2 points from victory for his man. And now match point.
40.
They're ready for Amelie Mauresmo.
They're applauding the Swiss player who played about as hot as he could on this cold, rainy day.
Colombian fans didn't have a lot to express here in this match, as Federer muffled any enthusiasm. But Falla fighting, gets to game point. I'd like to see Federer serve it out. Falla has not done much damage at the net.
Federer held his shot for a little extra fraction of a second to see which way Falla would lean.
Let the rings come. Some fans, they're ready for anything. That's a nor'easter. And so is that one. That was more of a southwester that Federer hit.
Avantage Federer.
And another match point for the 24-year-old superstar.
Égalité.
Third deuce, longest game of the match. As what drama is left is squeezed out by the play of Alejandro Falla.
He's tried to get to the backhand side. He's tried hard all match, some storms you just can't weather.
It's that high bouncing shot from the left-hander Nadal that has bothered Federer. It's almost as if he was trying to prove today that he's not going to be bothered by the backhand to his backhand.
Égalité.
And just as he did 2 points ago, shanked that forehand. So it's deuce again. Another match.
Fourth match point.
Avantage Federer.
And the Roger Slam is still in the cards. Will this be the year for Federer?
6-4, 6-3.
6-1, 6-4, 6-3. Federer is through to the third round.
And how lucky are the fans? They've just finished watching the world's #1, and coming up next, the women's world #1. And a woman from their country, Amélie Mauresmo of France.
AC Marigny and Massou, the winner to meet Federer in the 3rd round. Berdych is through, and Nicholas Kiefer was his apparent opponent, but Gisquel, the unknown Frenchman, causing some problems in the 5th. We'll see how that one develops as our live coverage of this French Open Championship continues, and we go to Chris Falla.
All right, Dick, thank you. As Federer makes his exit off the Lamlin court, talked about at Kiefer-Gisquel match, which is in the 5th set now, the French wild card, which means the French Federation gives a free pass into this event to Gisquel. He's 29 years old. Nicholas Kiefer, the veteran German here, seeded 13th, just destroyed this guy right here in the first 2 sets. 6-love, 6-1. But then Gisquel, who gives the fist pump right there, Brad, found his game, won the next 2 sets, 7-5, 6-3, serving now at 3-4 in the 5th. Had lots of long rallies like this in this match. Kiefer finding the angle. Gisquel able to run that down and win the point. Up in the 5th set.
Unbelievable movement by the veteran Frenchman.
And the crowd really behind this guy now. He gave them no reason to believe in the first couple of sets, but as he has come alive, despite this gloomy weather and these 2 rain delays, the crowd has gotten behind this guy now.
Look at the track he lays. That must be a 10-foot slide. And he's getting fired up.
Well, he fell down a break to Kiefer in this 5th set, just got the break right back, was in a love 30 hole on his serve. Now it's back to 30 all.
I tell you, on these small courts, this is where the French crowd can really make a difference on a small court.
This is on court number 2, one of the cozy courts that's across the compound from our position here next to the Chatrier Stadium. And it is packed, and as you can tell, the French partisans fully behind Gisquel now. Is a point away from leveling this 5th set.
And Chris, I don't think I've ever seen a guy in a best-of-5 set match drop the first 2 sets, 6-1, 6-0, and come back and win a match. This would be an incredible turnaround.
Kiefer coming forward and putting away the volley.
And with Kiefer, you just never know what you're going to get. You know, he pushes, he hits, he comes in a lot, and you know what you get a lot from Kiefer is the stare down. Especially if he wins a point, he loves to stare his opponent down.
You've seen plenty of the gamesmanship that you expect from the German. He went up and touched the line with his racket, which he's known to do repeatedly. It's kind of a nervous habit.
Quirky, to say the least.
Yeah. Once again, Gisquel showing the movement and the touch, and Kiefer's down.
That looked like our Luke Jensen, you know, going for a slide after the dive.
Kiefer can see play on his arm and his leg and back. Take a while to towel off. That stuff's just like mud after all the rain.
And I tell you, it does not feel good when you go down on that.
No?
Not feels good, no.
Crushed red brick does not feel good. Abrasive?
Yeah, and especially if you cut yourself, you get a little play in there. Not good, Chris. I spent a lot of time down on the turf without sliding.
You spent your time on the canvas here?